Hey Scott, come on in. We're going to take a tour of the boat museum. So this is the front room. We're going to do the whole upstairs and go down into the garage. Then we're going to do the downstairs and check out all the different boats that we have here in the museum.
Okay.
Okay, so I picked up this boat in 2014 at the World Championships back east in Maryland, and it belonged to the Brazilians. Over here in this corner is my C2 slalom boat. It's hardly been used at all because they don't have races much anymore on the West Coast. But it's an absolutely beautiful boat. It's in my favorite color, which is rainbow. And then up here, the black boat is that's a hooky surf ski. The black one's a hooky surf ski. The white and orange one above it is an outrigger canoe they got from Dan Snurberger, who's a national champion. Above that is a training boat called a Viking, I believe it was. And then above that's a K1 and a C2, K2 of Struer boats, which are mahogany. I got a lot of those. Then over here on the ceiling over here, the first boat, the lower one that's white, happens to be a Valhalla double surf ski. And above that, you can't really see it, you'll see it better later, is a K4 that I got from Susan Starbird in Petaluma. She gave that to me for free. Pretty nice boat to have. Okay, on this side, that first yellow boat there is a hooky surf ski. It's a double. Carol Schick gave it to me. I used it a couple weeks ago at the Sea Trek race. Really nice boat. Above there is 3 different sea kayak doubles. I teach handicapped people, and doubles come in handy when you're doing that. Over here above continuing on the south wall is that's a high kneel C1, the yellow boat. It's the old design. They got rid of the width requirements on these things anymore. It's about as wide as it is at the first thwart there. Typically, there's another kayak double above it that's, again, it's mahogany. Then the one on top of the closet there, that's a wave ski that I picked up. It's an Australian boat. I paddled that at Surf Ski Championships in Santa Cruz a couple times. Then down here on the floor, this purple boat is a Dick Held boat that he designed. He put perception stuff on it. And then behind that's one of my slalom C2s from before that I used a lot. And then as we continue across, there's a better view of the Olympic K2, K4 up there in the surf ski. Okay. So the boat's in the corner. This boat belonged to Rebecca Giddens. She took a silver medal at the Olympics in a boat like that. And that was one of her original boats. This is a slalom C1. It's a squirt boat that I got from Don Soares up in Oregon. It was such a fun boat to paddle. It just made you giggle all day long. And then this is a slalom kayak I picked up at Kernville one year. Over here is an art boat that was from John Frischetti, I believe his name is. He lives in Maine. He did art boats. And then the boat behind that is a C1 that I got from the Grigsby and Sarver C2 team. Both really good friends, and I competed with them a lot. In here, this is my bedroom. So, come on. Okay, this first boat, the blue boat, happens to be a surf ski that's 22 foot long. It doesn't even fit in a room. I had to put it on an angle. The boat behind there is a Phantom from Necky that also is 18 or 19 foot, and I guess it's about 20. And it belonged to Tim Milton. He won that at a Sea Trek race years ago. Okay, over here on this wall is this Struer K1. I picked that up from Lake Placid, a guy there, and got it super cheap. And it's just such a beautiful boat. It's unbelievable. The paddle that's with it is from the Olympics in '84 down in Las Casitas. The white boat behind there is a sit-inside surf ski from Sisson, and it belonged to Dave Jensen, really nice guy. Gave me that boat and 3 other surf skis for $400. Really good deal. And then the blue boat that's up there kind of hidden in the back, that's an Olympic K1 that I got at the '84 Olympics. I picked up 3 K1s while I was down there. Back many years ago when I used to have my Christmas parties in my garage up in Raleigh Heights, the locals gave me a team jacket for being the local guru and all the stuff that I did for local paddling. So all these different medals and ribbons are from years and years and years of racing since 1974. And this jacket here belonged to Tom Johnson, who is without a doubt one of my favorite people. He basically created plastic boats. He did so many other things. He was an ICF official. He's a national champion when he's 65 years old. Okay, this is a Russian wildwater K1 that came over here back in the 70s. It languished down in the Oakland area for many, many years, and Albert Ramvari got a hold of it and fixed it up and gave it to me as something for the museum, which I thought was pretty cool. So if you look at the seat in there, it's just foam that's kind of lashed together by string, basically. It's quite the amazing thing. Just below that is Sage Donnelly's helmet on the wall when she was a young child, and she, of course, went on to become a multi-time world champion and U.S. team member for slalom and freestyle.
Totally remember that helmet.
Yeah, so this boat down here is a wildwater kayak from, I've been told, South Africa. So they went down to South Africa because they didn't have any boats there. It was kind of expensive. They took a crew down there and started making boats. And they used Roy Lichtenstein's kind of artwork as the way to do it, which is a really neat looking boat. And hopefully it's going to end up on the wall eventually. And then there's a few pictures. This is the Russian River. A friend of mine painted that. There's some stuff paddling with my parents, my brother and I, my mom racing a sea trek. That's her life jacket. Then over here in the corner is some other things I got. I got all these things from John Holland, the Champion Series races. And I picked up these two Whitewater Challenge posters from a friend of mine down in Hillsburg, California, who put on these events and gave me the posters for free, which is pretty nice. Then up there on the wall, is that light going to be too bad?
No, it's okay.
Okay, there's a K4 is above us, but let's talk about this boat here. It was a U.S. team boat in the 1984 Olympics. So I got a couple bibs from there, courtesy of Jan Bredigan. And then I got the other paddle up there. Again, there was a K4 team there from Switzerland, and Jan got two of the paddles from them and gave them to me to display with the boats. And over there above the kitchen is another slalom C2. Well, that's a missile. The red boat's a missile. Got that from Alex Oppendijk, who's a very famous paddler in the Bay Area. It's like 22 foot long. It's just incredibly long. The other boat is a K4, again a Struer, that was used at the '68 Olympics in Mexico City. I happened to pick it up from a team of senior paddlers up in this Seattle area that trained and used it, and they used the money I gave them for the boat to get themselves a real boat.
All right, we can start with that wall.
Okay, up above is a C2 called a Grok Shark that Chuck Lyden and I raced at Champion Series races many years ago. Below that is two Wildwater C2s that I raced internationally, and last time I really raced them was at the World Cups when they were in Kernville. Behind there is Kick the Waves K1 that you can't really see. It's all carbon. It weighs like 20 pounds. It's a beautiful boat. Above that is another Wildwater K1. And then there's a yellow boat up in there, which you can't probably see very well. It's a Wildwater C1, and on the very top is an old Fanatic C1 slalom boat.
You'll be able to see those.
And then over here on the wall, who Scott is envious, is I picked up this play boat. It's supposed to be a surf boat. It's a play boat. And then below that is a surf boat that I picked up. And just really fun boats to paddle. Over here up above, way up in the back, you can kind of see the end of it, is another surf ski that I got. And then that Kevlar looking boat is a Marathon C1 of a Jensen design. And like I said, Dave Jensen gave me a number of surf skis to use. And then this black boat and the one that's carved above it are West Side Boat Shop's boats. They're both about 20 foot, very fast, very light, really nice. The yellow boat in the middle is a Seaward coaster, I believe it was, or Quest, excuse me, a Quest. And then this white boat up on top, something I never should have ever bought. It's a double C kayak that I picked up from somebody that was trying to get rid of it, and I paid $400 for it, and it's yours if you want it. Over here, I talked about Mike Johnson earlier. Mike Johnson was a two-time Olympian, and he's really into surfing kayaks. So he designed this boat, and he designed two other boats that won the world championships. And this one was paddled by an old friend of mine. So the red boat in the corner is another Dick Wold designed surf shoe. Really nice boat. He designed some really, really wonderful national championship winning boats. Then the boats on top of the kayaker here, there's two Ascentes that I got from Bill Krisoff, and then I have an Epic Sea kayak on the red one on this side here, and that's another nice sea kayak. Okay, so this is my kayaker, my Ford Explorer. I wear it quite often, paddle with the life space skirt upside, or life jacket license plate upside down. So there's an Epic kayak up there and two Ascentes from Seaward. Then on top of the van over there, which is canoer, there's another boat that I picked up last week for free from Ken Taylor. And it happens to be a Seeker from, I guess, Dagger. And so I'm giving that one away too. I gave away over 24 boats so far this year. We know an open canoe on the bottom is a Frankie Hubbard slalom designed boat that he made for racing. The Necky on top is just another lake boat that I picked up recently from some folks. Over here on this side is a number of canoes, and the one on the bottom is a voyaging canoe that did a lot of time up in Canada and Alaska. This is one I picked up from a good friend of mine. This is my trash canoe, and a nice open canoe just to paddle, but I fill this up with trash every time I do a trash run on the river. This is a kid's sea kayak that I got for free. It's a really nice current design sea kayak. This is another Wave Hopper, which is a plastic wild water boat. I picked that up. This boat here, that's a skin on frame boat that a woman out in Urington made, and I ended up with. Then above that is yet another surf ski. And then above that is another K2 Sprint mahogany boat from Stewart. And then here is a boat I got from a gal named Sue down in Coloma for free. Then above that is Stewart, or not Stewart, it was, I'll come back to it. There's two Luxia 2s in here, one on this side and one on this side. And this is yet another sea kayak that I picked up recently. So anyways, on this side is a bunch more open canoes, singles and doubles, and a sup that I got for free. That's the other Luxia 2. Then a 3K kayak with another surf ski that I got from Dave Jensen up there. And then down here is like my kayak connection. And there's all kinds of books, hordes and hordes and hordes of books. Okay, so in here is the boat room. And got all sorts of boats in here. You won't believe it, but there's plenty. Starting here on this side is a couple of kickboards for playing at the waves at the Whitewater Park, another surf shoe for paddling at Santa Cruz. All my kayak paddles, a lot of them anyways, not all of them. And then over here is all my canoe paddles. So there's a whole bunch of, and rafting paddles, just lots and lots of different canoe paddles. Then I had a business for many years, and I teach handicapped people how to paddle. So I have all these life jackets for putting on handicapped people when I take them to the marina in June. And then there's helmets and wetsuits, spray skirts, all sorts of paddling gear and history. And then over here, just a few more boats. This is probably way over 30 boats in here. A lot of old historic boats over here this way, wild water boats and old 60s kayaks. And there's a C2 down the very bottom. I have Sue Norman's old slalom K1 here. And then this boat here is kind of special. It's a Dick Held boat that I got many, many, many years ago in the 70s, and I raced that a lot and won a lot of races in that boat. before people figured out how to go fast. Then the orange boat just above it is Tom Johnson's personal boat. And then I have my Grand Canyon boats up on the top there. It's a Natural Designs Outrage 1A. Up here is the white boat at the top is a holoform. Then a bunch of different kayaks that I've picked up over the years for just people to paddle. This is an old Seda Climax. I got that from Joe just this last spring. And then this is a sea kayak I picked up. There's just a lot of different stuff in here. There's a whole bunch of old slalom boats and play boats and river boats and IKs and just a bunch of stuff in here. Down at this end is kind of my squirt boat and play boat end. So there's a number of really nice kayaks down here. This is an old, what is it called? Anyways, there's a really nice looking boat behind there. I never could fit in it, but I told Donovan I wanted it when he finished with it. And then there's just, again, a lot of stuff. There's this old surf shoe way over there. Surfboard that I got from Bruce Taylor before he passed on. Just a lot of different boats. Okay, so what we have here, up above is a Wildwater C2 from the 60s that the Ritchie brothers had. And they gave it to me after doing a race on the Truckee, and it's been sitting there ever since. It's become a home for doves in the springtime. And then the open canoe here is an open canoe that Joe Seda had made for himself and his wife to take up to the Bowron Lakes and do the 90-mile paddle in like 10 days or whatever it is. And then this one up here I got from the Wounded Warriors group. It's a double surf ski again that I picked up from them. Down here, this is another wave ski where you sit on it and you got a belt buckle that you put around your feet, and you got your feet in your lap, and you put your feet in the slippers. This here is a mold. My roommate Andy used to make his own boats by pulling mold off of different play boats. So there's a couple down the road there. And this is his diesel. And then over this way is, just a bunch of boats. This is an old Phantom that belonged to Brent Wright's. And then there's another kid's sea kayak here, a Mirage, a fiberglass dancer, plastic dancer, a pre-owned boat, a double sea kayak they picked up ages ago, 3 different sea lions, and another surf ski that needs a rudder. And then up above, this is it belongs to Andy, who lives up front. It's a Seda sea kayak that he has. And then over here on the ground, there's a couple of boats here that he made out of fiberglass that he pulled molds off of wave sport boats. Then this is an old boat that Ann Dwyer designed and had built. She was an old friend of the family, and my brother taught for her, and my mom paddled with her all the time. A couple of double river boats that I used to take people down the river all the time. A bunch of used boats. This is an old Hydra C2. And then I picked up this boat from a friend of mine. It's an Eclipse. And then there's a Old Town Loon. And then Mary Elliott's old boat. It's a Stubby. When I went back east in '89, I came back to Reno with 18 boats on that trailer. The 2 boats on the bottom, the orange or the white one, and the blue one are old Apple design boats that were used by a local friend of mine. This yellow and white boat, that is a Wildwater C1. The 2 boats up on top were made by some gal made them, or got them made, but they don't have seats or grab loops or nothing. So it would actually be very nice lake boats. Then the far boat over there is an old 60s design river boat. Probably one pulled off of a German design. When I went down to the Sea Trek race, first thing I did was go, "Hey, do you want a surf ski?" So they gave it to me, and the foot brace system was not working, so they gave it to me, and I'm fixing it up. Plan on giving it away for free also. just for history's sake, back in the 80s, Joe Sada had a group came over here from Poland, Czech Republic, that wanted to run the Grand Canyon and do all these other incredible rivers in North and Central and South America. So they came over with all these paddles with these huge rafts that they had sit way up off the ground. So Joe gave me all these old boats and paddles and stuff. So I got that.